Zelenskyy decree rules out Ukraine talks with Putin as impossible.
Here's a summary of the article.
Kyiv, October 4. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy signed a decree on Tuesday formally declaring the prospect of any Ukrainian talks with Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin impossible, but leaving the door open to talks with Russia. The decree formalized comments made by Zelenskyy on Friday after the Russian president proclaimed 4 occupied regions of Ukraine to be a part of Russia, in what Kyiv and the West said was an illegitimate farce. He does not know what dignity and honesty are. Therefore, we are ready for a dialogue with Russia, but with another president of Russia, Zelenskyy said on Friday. Ukrainian forces have broken through Russian defenses in the south of the country and expanded a rapid offensive in the east, seizing back territory in areas annexed by Russia, which invaded Ukraine in February. Putin, who turned 70 this week, has dominated Russia's political landscape for more than 2 decades and could run for office 2 more times under constitutional reforms he presided over, potentially remaining in power until 2036. Register now for free unlimited access to Reuters.com.
This post received a score of 27,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Putin, a once feared world leader with an illustrious career steeped in politics and murder, is being undone by a former comedian running a country 28 times smaller. This is some kind of Futurama timeline.
It's important to remember that despite the image Putin has crafted of himself as a tough guy, he has no military experience and no experience running a war. Edited for clarity.
Yeah, but he rode topless on a horse once.
Putin started a war with someone he thought very little about, and now he is paying for it.
I still can't believe he started something not knowing this was a possible outcome. I simply can't believe he is that stupid, and sincerely hope he doesn't think he needs to nuke something to prove he's right.
It's extra crazy, because the reason major nations seldom go to war these days is because it's pretty easy to predict exactly how it will work out, based on the level of intelligence and war science possessed by these countries. You can basically not, and say you did. It's hard to fathom how Russia was as far off as they were in assessing this.
It's a common hallmark of dictatorships, where being competent is seen as a potential threat, since you rise up the ranks naturally without being beholden to the dictator, so the main condition for promotion is loyalty, part of which involves giving your superiors only good news and meeting all the absurd quotas they set up, no talking back allowed. So over time the dictator is surrounded by yes men and hears only good news about how amazing the army is, how patriotic the citizens are, how weak-willed the enemies are, until reality comes back to bite.
Fake respect is respect you give out of fear of death. You will not die for that kind of respect, because death is already the reason for the fear. When your life is already at stake, you no longer have a reason to respect them. Fear is not required for respect, and respect without fear is unbreakable, and noble causes, like standing against brutality, can breed exactly this kind of respect.
Well, most dictators aren't elected for being loved, they became dictator through violence, so naturally they will always view fear as the main tool for keeping people in line.
It's their only tool after all. If Putin had decided instead of invading Ukraine he'd help his people by becoming less aggressive and fighting corruption, he'd be dead in a short while, and the benefactors of his previous corrupt policies would push for a new fascist leader that siphons all money into a few hands. There's a good reason why systems like that rarely become more equal without a big systemic shock. Having people suffer is not a byproduct, it's by design.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.